Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. This is actually a special edition of Epic Drone Show. Now my voice is hopefully a little bit better today. Been fighting a head cold, so I've been really chilling out. And with that being said, chilling out in the studio is perfectly acceptable because I'm here in the studio. I can talk to y'all. I know the voice quality is horrible, but apologize for that because it is such an eventful week for all of us that are drone hobbyists. And I'm looking out of the corner of my eye because I got Sean Coonery, the enormous Maine Coon cat, in the studio. So we got a lot of I hope y'all aren't encountering the same thing that I am, but if you haven't ordered your Mavic Air yet, just go to epicdroneshow.com and you can order it there. But although ordering it through there, ultimately, it takes me to DJI, and I opted for the red Fly More combo. The reason I did, it was a little bit more expensive to get the Fly More combo, but by having 2 extra batteries right out of the box, that's a huge win in my opinion. Now, unfortunately, I picked the red color, and the problem with the red color is that and this seems to be the consensus opinion on the internet, is that the red color is apparently in shorter supply. Now, is that a true short supply, or is it a created short supply, a created shortage to try to drive up the perceived demand for the Mavic Air? So, whatever the case may be, Nate Sarag says delayed. Yep, delayed. I'm very irritated. B. Hendo says mine's expected to arrive Wednesday morning before 10:30 a.m. The basic Arctic white model. You're a smart man. You ordered the white one, probably the one that's in the lesser demand, just because it's a basic color. Nothing wrong with a white drone. Nothing wrong with a red drone or a black drone. But yeah, Mark says it looks great in red. More people ordered that color than DJI expected. End of story. Yeah. Now, Crew England says, what are you expecting, if anything, from DJI at NAB? NAB, I'm expecting a Phantom 5. I feel that would be the next logical release from DJI. Something with a modular camera, something with a higher-end camera. Probably the highest-end camera that we've ever seen on a Phantom to date. Probably something that's a modular camera. Hopefully something that incorporates the Hasselblad technology. But even by incorporating Hasselblad technology, something that's not cost prohibitive. Because they don't want to create something that's just astronomically priced. But then again, what DJI could do, and tell me what y'all think about this, they could discontinue the Inspire. They could make the DJI Phantom their new Pro drone, give it the ultra high-end expensive camera options that the Inspire has, and just ditch the Inspire. So that would leave, for Pro level, that would leave the Phantom line, which is still big and heavy, but not as big and not as heavy as the Inspire. From a travel perspective, packing along with other gear, you don't want to have to lug around all that unnecessary weight. So from that perspective, I could see DJI upgrading their Phantom platform to the professional level, making Mavic Pro 2 the Phantom replacement for consumers, making Mavic Air the middle ground, and making Spark the fun drone. Let's see here. Tons of people in here. It looks... Crompere Brothers says, what's up? You might remember us by our old channel, Bros Before Drones. Cool, man. Welcome back. Anything you're worried about with the Mavic Air? Yeah. Number one, am I going to have to wait more than a few days to get mine? That's got me worried. But as far as the drone itself, the Mavic Air is concerned, my initial fear, just based upon specs on paper, is the is that it's utilizing Wi-Fi instead of the more advanced OcuSync. So, again, to be tested. I fly a line of sight to be safe and responsible, but, maybe that won't pose to be a problem. But it's still, until I've flown the Mavic Air, it's a concern. Mark says, lots of strong rumors about Mavic Pro 2 coming out just before NAB. Phantom 5 rumored to be released second half of 2018, but could still get previewed at NAB, fingers crossed. Well, see, NAB, what's that, National Association of Broadcasters, it's a pretty high-end customer base. People professionals that are seeking more than just a base model drone. So, from that perspective, it may be that we get the Phantom 5 at NAB and we get the Mavic Pro 2 later on in the year, because I don't know if DJI would want to confuse its customers into thinking that people that bought the Mavic Air, if they released a Mavic Pro 2 potentially a few weeks later, would that make those customers feel like their Mavic Air is obsolete? I don't know if they want to compete. I don't know if they want to create the perception, and I apologize, I'm really fighting this cold. I don't know if DJI wants to create the perception that Mavic Air is competing against Mavic Pro, because I don't think that's the case at all. Nate's Rog says, one thing on your Epic Drone Show emblem is the D is not visible with the dark background. Very good point, man. I need to... You know what I need to do? I need to create a new color scheme for the Epic Drone Show logo that's going to look good on any background. That's a good point. They can barely see that. And also the website address, epicdroneshow.com, that needs some work. Thank you. AJ says, my neighbor ordered the Mavic Air Combo. He's only going to need batteries, and he's going to hook me up, basically give it to me for free. Cool. That's very cool. Campier Brothers says, on YouTube, general question, how did you get all your subscribers? Well, it's a growing subscriber count. It's not anywhere close to where it should be. I'm getting close to 56,000 subscribers. Should have been a lot more, but in the early days of YouTube, I didn't understand how YouTube worked. So when I created, if you watch some of my original YouTube videos, you'll find that I never said, hey, subscribe, or that sort of stuff. I didn't have annotations. Annotations were big at the time, where you could click and subscribe. And at that time, cards and the in-screen feature didn't even exist. So what I did when I realized that to grow a channel, that subscribers are an important metric, is I started to insert verbal call for actions. Check this out, subscribe, check out all my other videos too. Had the clickable annotations. Obviously now I don't use annotations, but if you watch all my most recent videos, including this after the live stream concludes, you'll see at the end I'll have my outro graphic where it says I'm an independent channel, subscribe, and then you'll see the subscribe button, and you'll see a suggested video beside it. That's a way to help to drive subscriber growth. And there's no real science. I mean, the main thing is interact with your audience, respond to all comments, whether you may feel that they're positive or negative in nature. Obviously, if they're spam comments, proactively go through and filter that, because if there's spam comments within your videos, that can deter a lot of people from watching your videos if they see a spam comment that that may offend them. So, police your channel and interact with your audience. Do what you enjoy doing. I mean, ultimately, a YouTube channel, it's about what you enjoy doing, and if you're doing what you enjoy doing, your like-minded subscribers, like-minded people on YouTube should be able to find you, and then they become subscribers, and then they share with their friends that likely have a a common set of interest. Now, Maui Michael says, aloha, mahalo for the live feed. Welcome aboard, man. Aloha to you. I love Maui, and I love Mama's Fish House down there in Paia. That's my favorite little place to eat. Crew England says, hesitating on buying the Air in anticipation of what DJI has up its sleeve for NAB. History is they always release a new model at this huge show. Again, I think NAB, if there is a release, I expect it to be, I'm leaning more towards Phantom 5, a more pro-level Phantom 5 drone, something more professional than we've ever seen. I'm leaning more towards that at NAB than a Mavic Pro 2. I think Mavic Pro 2 would make the most sense towards the end of the year, towards Christmas, before Christmas shopping season, maybe in September, October, or November, where people are like, well, I don't need something as high-end as the Phantom 5, but I need something a little bit more powerful than the Mavic Air. And I think that's where that sweet spot for Mavic Pro 2 will be created. The middle ground between Mavic Air and Phantom 5. Let's see. AJ says, every time I type on my phone it says different words. What's going on? I know I'm driving, but want to be in the live show. Yeah, don't text and drive, man. It doesn't matter if you're watching Epic Drone Show or whatever, because there's people out on the road. You could injure others. You could injure yourself. I was hit by a car when I was riding a bicycle, and I wasn't even in motion. I was at a red light, and the minivan behind me started off and rear-ended me. And I don't know if I've shared this story on a previous show. I'm sure I have. But they got out of the minivan, and they were cursing me, and they called me all these words and all this, that, and the other. And I just looked at them like, I said, I'm a pedestrian. You hit somebody on a bicycle. And they said, well, you're blah, blah, blah. Why are you being so smart with me? And I said, you hit a pedestrian. Well, we ought to get the cops involved because you're such a jerk. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I said, because the police station is right there, and there's literally catty corner to us. And the cop came over, and we talked. And, he's asking me, he's like, do you want to press charges or anything? I'm like, no, no, no. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I said, I was hit by a car on a bicycle. So we all go about our way, and I didn't realize I should have checked it before the officer allowed that guy to pull off in his minivan. But I had a warped, because of the impact from the minivan and my rear wheel, really nice wheels I had on this road bike, warped it. So I had a few $100s. It was a few $100 wheel that I had to replace, and not having that guy's contact info or anything, I didn't have a way to get in touch with him. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go out and sue somebody. That's not how I operate. But had I realized that the wheel had been damaged, I would have at least insisted that he pay to replace the wheel for me. Maui Michael says, hit up Mama's Fish House the next time in Maui. No joke, man. Next time I fly down or sail down, I'll have to do that. Go out there and are they pretty friendly with flying drones in Maui now, or has it gotten kind of sketchy? Yeah, Nate Sarag says, when was your first YouTube? 6 years ago. What was the title? Well, I posted a bunch of crap, to be frank, because I didn't realize at the time that YouTube was an opportunity. So I kind of posted random stuff, and in the beginning it was more of a way for me to capture videos when I traveled and share them with friends and family. So I didn't have the mission that I have now to become one of the top-ranked independent YouTube channels. I didn't have that mission in mind. So at the time, I was just wanting to share travel videos. But one of the older videos was, well, I've got a lot of them. You can scroll back and just look at the date. But it was, if you search for my video, let me find a link here. I'm going to get it for everyone. it was a cruise that I went on, and when I came back, at that point in time, YouTube Partner Program was by invitation only. So this was back in 2010. So this right here, I would say, is my first video from the perspective that it's one of the videos that put me on the map, and the video that that prompted YouTube, again, because it was by invitation only at that point in time, to email me and ask if I wanted to become part of the YouTube Partner Program. And the only reason I read that email is because it came from Google. I'm like, this is pretty cool. This is not spam. This is legitimate. And sure enough, it was a legitimate opportunity. And that one video is what encouraged me to go from just mindlessly putting up a travel video for the fun of it to becoming involved with, I would say, the new mainstream media. I mean, you know, YouTube is video for the future. A lot of people didn't see it in the past. A lot of people looked at YouTubers as kind of like, you know, you look at a celebrity or whatever, on an actor on TV or an actress on TV, and you call them like a B-level celebrity. You know, those people that may have been in one movie or one miniseries or whatever, but they're just not thought of as like a true celebrity, even though they were part of that movie or part of that miniseries. And YouTube has always kind of been second, in the past rather, was kind of second rate. You know, people are like, well, who cares about YouTube? You know, that's not a big TV network. I can't flip on DirecTV or you know, insert cable company or whatever here and watch YouTube. You know, they're just not cool enough. But now what's happening is that people are looking at YouTube as a viable alternative to traditional satellite, to traditional TV. So people that have become obsessed with YouTube, it's cool. I mean, there's more to it than just enjoying hobbies, showcasing hobbies with others, featuring cat videos, how-to videos. There's a lot more to it than that. I mean, there's a backbone to all of this, and the backbone is creating an empire of sorts and just having a good time with it. And that's, you know, not to get off the topic of drones. Drones are a huge component, but that's what I've enjoyed most from YouTube, is just being able to dream up this content, share this content, interact with an audience. I mean, just like right now, I mean, we've got a live show going, and tons of people tuned in real time watching this. So to me, you know, that's incredible, and that's why it's so much fun. Nate's Rock says, watch your first video. Dang, you have improved your skill level. Yeah, it was pretty rough in the beginning, not knowing anything about it, or knowing very little about it. Kevin says, received the Mavic Air today. He's in the United Kingdom. So far, very impressed. Flew a mile out with no issues. Video quality is really good. Just need to test it more, but so far, big thumbs up. Keep up. Oh, man, that is cool. I can say I'm extremely jealous, because I'm sitting here in an empty studio with Sean Coonery, the enormous Maine Coon cat. He's like, hey, man, I want to get my paws on that new drone, and it just hasn't arrived. But it'll be here soon, Mr. Coonery. Yep. Crew says, love your live shows and the info and insight you provide. Keep it up, man. I appreciate that, because, again, independent channel, couldn't do this without the viewers. That's what makes it so cool. So let me share a story. And this happened today, and obviously it's annoying. But you know, it's one of those deals where I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. And I don't want to come across as if I'm bashing anyone, but I'm not going to sugarcoat the truth, so I'll just jump right in. So when I ordered my Mavic Air Fly More Edition in the red color, I made sure to look down below to observe the shipping date, and it said ships 1/28 of 2018. So I'm like, okay, that's what made me get the red instead of going with the white or black. Because I'm like, you know, this says it'll ship then. I'm good with that. That's perfectly acceptable. So again, it hasn't shipped yet. So today, I said, this is enough. You know, I've been ninja refreshing my order status, and it still hasn't shipped. I mean, it's paid for. Everything's there, except I just don't have a tracking number. So I'm like, this is unacceptable. So I get in touch with DJI directly and provide my order number and say, hey, what's my tracking number? I didn't say this hasn't shipped yet. I just said, what's my tracking number? And of course, they come back and they say, well, sir, your item hasn't shipped. It's supposed to ship by February the 15th. And I said, wait a minute. I said, that's unacceptable. I said, this said ships 1/28/2018. That was yesterday, because today's the 29th. And they just said, well, no. And I said, well, that's nonsense, because it said in writing on your website that's when it ships. So I've been trying to, you know, a lot of people say, oh, man, it's a red color, it's in shorter supply, you know, it's higher demand, whatever, however you want to spin it. But then I started performing some research. And DJI has this new thing that I was unaware of, and this is an assumption. I don't have anything to validate this assumption, but my assumption is that they may be trying to push. They've got some sort of new program where you pay an annual fee. I forget what it is, $40 or whatever. And it's supposed to expedite your orders, which that's fine and dandy. But someone like myself that went to epicdroneshow.com, bounced from there to DJI's website, and ordered a few minutes before the live show, the live announcement went live. You know, DJI's unveiling, Unleash, or what was the Adventure Unfolds was the name of the event. Several minutes before that, I placed the order. After looking below and seeing that it ships on 1/28, to me that's unacceptable. For a company that has produced so many exciting and high quality products, and they've got bugs, but overall they're great products. For a company to produce so many great products, they need to really work on just basic customer service. I mean, one of the things in sales is never make a statement that is later proven to be false. But if that statement is made and it's in writing, and then there's failure to deliver, in this case, ships on 1/28 of 2018. Okay, I had 3 color choices: red, black, or white. Since they all said they would ship at that point in time on 1/28 of 2018, I went with red because I thought that was the coolest color, personal preference. But the fact that that was in writing and mine still hasn't shipped, and it's a day late, it's already the 29th, one might think that any business that cares about their reputation would say, oh, well, what can we do to help? Hey, can we give you a different color? You know, we're sorry for the mistake. Can we offer this, this, and that to make up for the inconvenience? They offered none of that. They didn't care. And then I went as far as to say, without being cocky or whatever, but I just said, look, I said, I've got a YouTube subscriber base right now of just shy of 56,000 subscribers. I've got a lot of people, including myself, that are anxiously awaiting the arrival of this drone so they can see the unboxing, the review, the field test, and this sort of thing is unacceptable. And I will share my experience with the world. And that didn't seem to faze them at all. I mean, maybe 56,000 subscribers isn't a lot of reach, but anybody that's watching this video right now, I mean, this is a true testament of what I encountered today. And again, I love DJI. DJI, without a doubt, is my favorite drone on the market today. But it's scenarios such as the one that I encountered today that could make people that maybe aren't already as loyal to DJI to just step away. If I was a first-time buyer and this was the purchasing fiasco that I encountered, I probably wouldn't do business with them again. But based upon my the excellent history that I've had with DJI, getting consistently excellent products, and not having to worry about the quality of what I'm purchasing. Sure, there's troubleshooting challenges, but overall great drones. I was able to overlook that. But even by being able to overlook it, I would be doing myself and others a disservice if I didn't share my experience with y'all. So, this channel, even though a lot of people may falsely accuse me of being a DJI fanboy, this channel is all about what's real. How does that drone perform? And it doesn't just have to be isolated to the field. That purchase experience is part of the equation. And today just rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, I should have 90 whatever just said, just joining now, and this may have already been discussed, but is a delay due to IrixGuy ordering the red Mavic Air? Well, although they never said specifically within the chat session why mine was delayed, they said, to ship by, I think it was February the 15th or February the 12th. Some unacceptable time frame. I mean, keep in mind, I ordered this before the Adventure Unfolds event went live, because they actually went up for sale a few minutes before that. I was ninja refreshing the page. And I mean, I could speculate that it may be that, but my other thing is, I think it may be that they're trying to steer people into that annual fee or whatever for the premier, elite, whatever, the expedited shipping for products type thing. And I'm not going to buy into that. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I need the latest and greatest drones because that's a core component of my channel. Is getting out and field testing those drones and, having a good time and letting y'all experience that good time along with me by way of YouTube. And I mean, today, this is just, and maybe I'm in a bad mood too because I got a head cold, but this has rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm letting the world know. So, this is something that has happened to me. Had it not been in writing at the bottom before I ordered the Mavic Air Fly More combo that ships own 128 of 17, had it not been down there, then it would have been impossible for me to have made this argument. I mean, to have shared my frustrations with everyone. I mean, with DJI, because it's, don't make a false claim if you're in the business of sales. That's horrible. And if you do, fess up and acknowledge your mistake. And if anybody from DJI is watching this, hey guys, y'all's customer service today was unacceptable. And I want y'all to hear this. So if you care about your image, especially from one of your biggest fans, I know there's a lot of people that like drones, but hey guys, check out my hundreds of DJI drone videos on my channel and listen to the feedback throughout those hundreds of videos. And you'll probably find that it's overwhelmingly positive. So, if you want to make up for your poor customer service today, feel free to reach out to me. The best way to get me is to go to IrixGuy.com and you can find my contact information on there. Because it was indeed unacceptable. So anyway, enough of that rant. Crew says, if I remember correctly, when the first Mavic came out, there were some bugs with it. I had a friend who bought it right away and others who waited until bugs worked out. Thoughts? Well, the smart customer would wait for bugs to be worked out. They would probably buy in, after a few firmware updates have been released, after they've had the opportunity to watch field test reviews from quite a few different credible sources, to be safe. But in my scenario, and this is why I'm so perturbed, I don't want a pre-release copy or any of that. I think that's garbage. I think, when I watch these YouTube videos and watch reviews on other sites that are, oh, here's a review of this, and it's like you look at the release date for whatever product they're talking about, it doesn't come out for a few weeks or a few months. That's not a fair review. That's not even the production product. But as soon as I can get my hands on production product, that's when I'm excited. I want to be among the first people to get it, and that's why I'm so perturbed about what's happened to me with the Mavic Air. Because I want to encounter those bugs. You know, I look at those bugs as being troubleshooting challenges. And it's part of the thrill. I mean, ultimately, if I was a type drone hobbyist where I wanted to go out and get something and have fun, you know, just a turnkey solution, not have to worry about troubleshooting or any of that, you know, just turn it on, charge it up, turn it on, it flies, no problems. You know, that would be a different story. But I'm the guy that wants to tear this thing apart from a functionality perspective. You know, tear it apart, see what works, see what doesn't work. Well, if it doesn't work or it doesn't work quite as well as I'd want it to work, how can I make it better? You know, figure all that stuff out and share with others. That's part of the thrill of meshing drones with YouTube, is being able to troubleshoot, resolve, and then share with others. So yes, I want to be, and that's why I'm irritated. I wish I had received it today. I wish I had it on my desk today. And it hasn't even shipped. And it was supposed to have shipped per DJI on 1/28, which was yesterday. So Greg says, could this be a karma issue they caught before shipment? Saying that there may be a shipping delay because maybe there's potentially a bug that's been discovered with Mavic Air. That's a possibility. That's definitely an interesting way to look at this. Dark Horse says there is a Phantom 3 Pro for $500 used. Would that be a good starter? You know, anytime I hear drone and used, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, who used it before, or how many people used it before? Did the previous owner, did they acquire it from someone else? You know, I'm always, when it comes to buying something used, whether it's a drone or whatever, I'm always nervous about it because I don't know if it's been neglected by the previous owner or previous owners. But check out epicdroneshow.com and go to store and go to used or drone auction. That's a link to drones that are available for auction. And then also, if you just go to drone store, you can find a lot of refurbished drones there as well. So yeah, I mean, with certain things, and when I say certain things, so things that I don't buy used, I personally never buy drones used. I personally never buy computers used. I don't buy, let's see, what do I buy used? I really don't buy a lot of stuff used. I'm a very, I guess you would say, overly paranoid person. So I always assume worst case. So if I'm buying a used computer, what did the previous person do? Did they drop it? Did it get wet? Did it dry out and then it just started working again? And maybe it's really damaged, and then a few days after I buy it, it completely fails because moisture finally made it into the next little piece and killed it all. You know, that's the computer scenario. The car scenario is, well, you know, cars now, you can do a background check on a car and get a pretty good feel for if it's been wrecked or whatever. But that's not to say that it's been misused. I mean, someone could have driven a car overly aggressively and subjected it to wear and tear that, in essence, makes that vehicle perform as if it was X number of years older. So that's the fear with that. If you're buying, anything mechanical, wristwatch, whatever, to buy something used, it's scary because these things, you can take the back off, you can monkey around with the components, you can swap the OEM components with aftermarket. There's so many shady things people can do with that. With drones, I mean, obviously a completely different animal. They can be crashed. They could have been subjected to moisture. They could have been internally modified. Maybe something broke and Joe Bob or Jane Bob popped out a soldering tool and like, hey, look at this. Let's see if this works. Try to fix it themselves. It's a scary thing. Buying a bicycle that's used, the bicycle could have had some sort of catastrophic crash, and the wheels could be messed up, and somebody fixed the wheel, but it's kind of like a shady little patch job. And you're riding down the road, and then the wheel falls off, and you crash. I mean, anything, and new things can be that way too. I mean, with the lack of quality control now within assembly lines throughout the world, anything that's new may not be as good as something that was developed several years ago and is used. I mean, you never know. Look at homes that are built. New construction homes are horrible. They're using poor lumber. They're using poor brick. They're using poor materials in general, poor quality materials in general. So, I mean, I don't know. Do what you want to do, man. But I'm a very paranoid person. I always assume worst case. Greg says, okay, crash my Mavic Pro. It's totaled. I don't think DJI can repair it. I think it can only be replaced. I was wondering if I should wait and see if a Mavic Pro 2 would come out soon. You know what I would do, man? And this is just my personal thing. I would take a look at that, at your crash drone, and really try to decipher what's really damaged and what's semi-damaged, and provide an accurate, just get a little checklist and create a summary of what seems to be fine, what seems to be definitely broken, what may be able to be repaired, and just create just a bulleted summary of the health of your drone, and then put it up on an auction site. Just say, hey, this is being sold as is. It may or may not work. Here's some of my findings. They may or may not be accurate, and just see what someone may be willing to offer for a drone that may have some or all the components, for that matter, that are irreparable. So that's an option, especially on the cusp of a new drone coming out. It would seem that if Mavic Pro 2 does release as expected, that that when and if it does, the current model drone may decrease in price. So now, if you're selling a crash drone, you may be able to get more for your money, before that new drone comes out. So if you just want to go ahead and try to get it off your hands, that may best benefit you. Hey, it's bad, but for someone else, they may look at it and say, well, this is good, and this will save me X dollars, over getting repairs or buying replacement components and trying to fix it myself. So, Cruz says, always buy accidental damage protection insurance. It has saved me a couple times, and it's a lot of money. Would I give it to DJI to see their thoughts? Yeah, that's cool about the insurance, man. You wouldn't give it to DJI to see their thoughts? I don't know, man. I mean, after my customer service experience with DJI today, I don't know. Number one, if I did that, I would make sure that I wasn't going to be out of pocket for anything. I mean, if I send it to them and it's just kind of a crapshoot, well, at a minimum, you're probably having to pay for the shipping. Then there may be a diagnostic fee. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that, man. If I attempted it, I would find out all the facts up front and just find out, well, if this turns out to be expensive, can you ship it back to me for free, or do I have to pay for return shipping? Do I have a labor cost regardless? Figure out, because I mean, if you think about it, if you're looking at, let's just say, just a cheap shipping rate, maybe $20 or $30. If you're paying that to and from, well, I mean, heck, now you're around $60 or so. And then if there's a bench, a diagnostic fee or whatever, I mean, I don't know how much they may charge for that. I mean, that could be a few bucks or a few $100. So, I mean, I don't. Yeah, Mark says. Yeah, Greg, you're right. Bad day to ask me that question. Mark says, your customer service experience is pretty typical, not uncommon at least. Yeah, that's been the consensus that I've heard online about DJI support. And what hurt me the most is that this wasn't like an after sales request. I mean, I had not already purchased a drone and wanted to seek repair or whatever, or just ask a common troubleshooting question. This was a drone that's not even shipped yet, that they made an incorrect claim on their website in writing that it would ship on 1/28 of 2017, and then they don't even care. They're like, well, what can we do to make this right? You know, none of those types of questions. You know, just basic customer service skills. I've one of my many pursuits, one of my many career pursuits rather. I've spent over 10 years in the customer service industry for a very large company, a Fortune 100 company. I spent over 10 years of my life, and I would never go back, but over 10 years of my life within that realm, and I know how customer service should work. I've seen it with my own eyes, and DJI's customer service is absolutely, just based upon my experience today, absolutely horrible. I mean, it's offensive. It really is. So again, DJI, if you're watching, I'm stating the truth here, and if you want to contact me to tell me how you can make wrong right, you know, feel free to do so, because I got rubbed the wrong way today. I got rubbed the wrong way aggressively with with gloves covered in glass. It was very irritating. So anyway, well, this is good. You know, one thing on the bright side, despite the horrible customer service experience, at least my voice is starting to come back a little bit. I'm drinking a ton of water, eating a bunch of oranges. But Mark says as bad as their customer service is, it used to be worse from what I understand. I can't understand it being much worse than this. But if it was, man, whew. So this this live streaming setup, I've actually done a again, you know, new year, new overhaul, and I performed a drastic overhaul in my studio. And actually, this live show I'm broadcasting from a MacBook Pro with the new webcam that I put the unboxing video of up on my website a few days ago, the Brio. So I'm glad this works, because this laptop's just an i5. It's not. Used to use an i7. It was a 2014 model. This is a 2017 model i5, and it can handle it really well. This is just in 720p though, so I don't know what I may try during a future live show to see if my hardware is capable of streaming 1080p with chroma key like this in you know, YouTube live stream. That'd be an interesting test. Crew says, can't wait to see your unboxing and first flight review. I know, man. It's going to be fun if I ever get the thing. It's frustrating. I wanted to be doing the unboxing today, and instead I'm sitting here. It's probably good, though, because I got a head cold, and these are videos that'll be up for a while, so, you know, to have that degraded voice quality in the videos, I mean, it makes them less watchable, so it's probably a good thing. Mark says, remember when DJI drones would just randomly fly away? It used to be called Return to China. That's funny, man. You know, I heard a lot of reports of that, but... and there may have been cases where it was legitimately a hardware failure, but I think there were a lot of people... I know there were a lot of people that were creating those scenarios just for buzz. Because it is pretty dramatic. I mean, back in those days, I mean, these things were super expensive. And for something to fly away, I mean, it was a shock factor of, well, God, this idiot just spent X thousand dollars on a drone, and now the thing flew away and you'll never see it again. So, you know, from that perspective, a lot of internet marketers took advantage of that. Not to say that there weren't legitimate cases of a drone's hardware failing and it flying away. I mean, it's possible. It's technology. Technology breaks. But yeah, I don't know. Greg says, I'm going to send the Mavic I crashed last night. I'll let you know what happens. So let me know, man. Share your customer service experience with the world here. We're about 45 minutes in. I got to keep my vocal cords kind of chill because I got this cold. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude. But I just had to get on and vent these frustrations, figure out what y'all are up to, and you know, most importantly, let y'all know that I'm doing everything in my power to really push DJI to make wrong right. You know, don't tell me in writing on your website that your drone is going to ship on 1/28 of 2018 before I place order button. You know, right there before I ship. Okay, before I order. Okay, I've got red, white, and black. All say at that point in time, all say they would ship on 1/28, and it hasn't. So. And again, when I do receive my drone, my Mavic Air, I'm not going to let this less than acceptable customer service experience distort my field test opinions. You know, this is awful, but this is not going to be carried into my review process whatsoever. So I just want to let y'all know that. It's just, ugh. But thanks everyway, and thanks everyone, and so we'll get to this. So thanks for watching, and I got to get over this cold. Y'all have a good day.
Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.